Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm here with Marius Johnson from Better Together, and we're going to keep going with the city-county merger discussion. I'm curious, and this is just with all the studies that you've done so far and what you're planning to do. I asked you in the last segment what you're hearing from people, but I want to take it back to like old school speech and debate, for and against. If you had to sum it down to what comes up as maybe the top 3 reasons for a merger, what would you say that would be?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I think it would be difficult to actually pin it down in that way, because like I said when we were talking before the show, if you were to poll the people working on this project or our board of directors, I think all of them would agree that some level of cooperation beyond what is currently happening would be a positive thing for the region. However, if you were to ask them what those areas are or what exactly would be the strengths of those increased cooperations, the answers would vary pretty greatly. And so the research that we're doing is hopefully going to figure out what are those areas that are best for cooperation or possibilities for the further reunification between the city and the county as we move forward, or does it make sense in any area? As far as the opposed side of it, I think there's a lot of fear about where the finances are going to end up. One of the questions that we kept hearing during our public finance study was, if for some reason the city were to re-enter the county as another municipality, would the county then somehow be responsible for the debts of the city? And what we discovered was, no, that's absolutely not the case. There's no precedent for that. There's no reason to be concerned about that. There's probably some other concerns out there, but as far as what we're doing, it's hard to understand where the opposition might be, because we're really trying to focus on research and do these studies so that the conversations can be had about what the pros and cons are. So I could probably speculate as to what those concerns are, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse, if you will.
Sure, no, and I appreciate you. Thank you for explaining that, because it sounds like what you're saying is that beyond, after this study is completed and this project at the end of the year, that from the data that's collected and sort of after it's gone over, you might find it might not just be like, hey, we need to merge.
Right.
It might just say, in this one area, this is where it could be benefited. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. Again, I think each of us have individual ideas about what we would like the future of the region to look like, but they're all sort of based on hunches and intuitions. And so until we've done the studies and done the research, it's hard to say what would make sense and what would be best for this region, or to have a conversation at large to understand what the region would desire. And so to be able to say, yes, we're for full reunification or re-entry, or the range of possibilities in between those two things, would be a little preliminary at this point.
And you're bringing up I've noticed you said re-entry in a different part, because I think we use sometimes certain words interchangeably, but merger isn't exactly the right way. It would be more of a re-entry, and to explain that actually, because that's probably really important. That's something that in our language we gloss over quite a bit.
Right, and so I think that's one of the issues, is that there's a sort of spectrum of possibilities, and people think merger and may think that means full merger of all the governments in the area into one government. It could be as simple as the St. Louis City re-entering the county as one municipality. We could stay as we are now. Again, we're doing the research so that the public can have the conversation about what does our future look like? Do we want to explore one of these paths, and how do we best do that? And so that's what we're really excited to do that, because people are really interested in the topic, but like you indicated, nobody really knows what that means.
Right, or what that could look like in the future.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the findings. This is going to be public information, and where will people be able to access it once it's completed?
Yeah, so we're really excited about our website, bettertogetherstl.com, and you can view our first study findings on our website now under the public finance study, and all of our studies will be on there. In addition to that, we get information from municipalities, whether it be budgets or organization charts, different documents. All the documents we receive from the 115 government entities will be up on the website. And we'll reference them to show exactly what page we got them on and what documents. So if people want to check our work, we highly encourage that. And that way people can also see what information's out there and sort of come up with their own proposals and think about ways that they think this region could look in the future.
No, I mean, I think this is fantastic in the sense that things are becoming so data-driven, so data-specific, that if it doesn't exist, it's really hard to make the argument. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing that with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great public knowledge. The information's right there on your screen. It's interesting. It's important. BetterTogetherSTL.com. We hear a lot of talk about the city and the county, but until this happens, we need the data, we need the research to go into it, and this is the site to go to get that. So check it out, Better Together, STL.com. And Marius, thank you again for being here. All right, well, there's more STL TV Live after this break, so stay with us. When we return, we're going to talk about Mardi Gras. Stay tuned.